And whether you're in this country committing crimes on the streets or committing crimes from further afield online, we will come after you.
Talk to me about that, because we have seen some high-profile figures whipping up the hatred. You talked about it in there with the officers, in fact, about this being added to by online commentary. I mean, I'm even thinking of the likes of Elon Musk getting involved. What are you considering when it comes to dealing with people who are whipping up this kind of behaviour from behind a keyboard and maybe in a different country?
Being a keyboard warrior does not make you safe from the law. You can be guilty of offences of incitement, of stirring up racial hatred. There are numerous terrorist offences regarding the sort of publishing of material. All of those offences are in play if people are provoking hatred and violence on the streets, and we'll come after those individuals just as we will physically confront on the streets the thugs and the obs who are causing the problems for communities.
This is my video update on this Saturday morning, August the 10th. Let's talk about some news, and let's start things off with the UK police. They are signaling that if you post content that incites violence, is harmful or hateful, according to their definition of harmful or hateful. If you post stuff like this online and you are not a citizen of the UK or you are not living in the UK, they may still come after you. The British police are going to hunt you down wherever you are in the world if you post harmful, hateful content or content that incites violence in the UK. They're going to hunt you down. They are going to arrest you. That is what the UK police are now hinting at. That is what they're floating out there. Maybe they're going to issue ICC arrest warrants for everyone that posts harmful or hateful content online. Wow. So we went from going to jail, possibly going to jail or being fined for retweets that the Keir Starmer government does not like, to anyone in the world who posts hateful content according to the British police definition of hateful content or incites violence in the UK, they're going to come after you. Keir Starmer, he's doing a bang-up job for the globalists, huh? He is doing a really good job for the globalists. Keir Starmer. So did you guys see the video of Keir Starmer at one of these British surveillance, censorship, nerve centers? Yeah, Keir Starmer published a video where he's at one of these surveillance nerve centers. And on Twitter X, he said, "My number one priority is to make sure our communities are safe. Thanks to our police forces, those who participate in violence online and offline will face the full force of the law." Online and offline violence. He's coming after you. Now we all understand why they wanted Keir Starmer so badly. why the deep state, the globalists, were so in love with the Keir Starmer prime ministership. Oh boy. So Elon Musk, he's taken on Starmer. He's gotten into a little bit of a row with Keir Starmer, and he posted on Twitter X a Keir Starmer post from 2021, that, from what I understand, the Prime Minister has since deleted. And this post was Keir Starmer actually criticizing the police and how they were policing riots in 2021. And Keir Starmer was criticizing them in this Twitter X post, and he deleted it. But Elon Musk, being the owner of Twitter, I guess he found a way to resurface this tweet. Maybe he was keeping screenshots of Keir Starmer's Twitter posts, anticipating him becoming prime minister. I don't know. But he was probably sent this screenshot. He was DM'd this screenshot. But yeah, Starmer, Musk posted this this screenshot from Starmer, and he labeled Starmer a hypocrite. Here's the title from Sky News. Musk brands Starmer a hypocrite as ex-owner goads PM over Labour MP's deleted tweet. Elon Musk has been sparring with Keir Starmer over the past week after the Prime Minister accused social media platforms of allowing false claims to spread that prompted riots. So a couple of weeks ago, Starmer was in a bit of a row with Maduro, and now Starmer is in a row with now Musk is in a row with Starmer. Interesting. 1 week Maduro, another week Keir Starmer. All right, so that is the Twitter X post that Musk resurfaced, showing that Starmer's a hypocrite. Not that Starmer cares. Starmer couldn't care less. If he's called a hypocrite, if he's proven to be a hypocrite, he doesn't care. He's there to complete a job, to complete a task, and he is going to complete that task. So, Russia has blocked the Signal Messenger app. That's right, Russia has blocked Signal, which brands itself as a secure messaging app that the three-letter agencies cannot spy on your messages. But I remember Tucker Carlson talking about Signal like 6 months ago. He was talking about the Signal Messenger app, and Tucker Carlson claimed that the FBI had hacked into his Signal messages. So if you go by Tucker Carlson, I guess Signal is not so secure. If you go by Tucker Carlson, but Signal has an interesting past. They're connected to the three-letter agencies in the State Department under Hillary Clinton. It appears that's where Signal got their start, or that's where the actual technology came from, and then it became a secure messaging app. So who knows? Who knows how secure Signal is? Maybe it's super secure, maybe it's not. But Russia isn't taking any chances, and they are blocking the Signal Messenger app. Not that this is a big deal for Russian citizens. I don't think there are many Russians that are using Signal or depend on Signal. I could be wrong, but I don't think it's a very big platform in Russia. I'm sure there's a part of the population that uses it, but I don't think it's a significant part. So in the United States, Nancy Pelosi was giving an interview to the New Yorker, and this was on Thursday, actually. And the interview, parts of the interview have now surfaced, and everyone is talking about what Pelosi said, because in this interview with the New Yorker, Pelosi basically admitted that she was one of the people who coup d'etat'd Bidenopolis. That is what Pelosi pretty much admitted in this interview with the New Yorker. She said that they won the White House in 2020. This is a direct quote from the interview. They won the White House in 2020. Bravo. But my concern was, this ain't happening, and we have to make a decision for Biden's withdrawal to happen. That is what she told the New Yorker. She also said, I never called one person, but people were calling me saying that there was a challenge there, so there had to be a change in the leadership of the campaign, or what would come next. Pelosi said her goal was simple, that Donald Trump would never set foot in the White House again. That is a direct quote from this interview. So Pelosi was saying, I never called anyone. People were claiming that I was calling people trying to engineer the coup of Biden, but Pelosi said, I never called one person, not even Chuck Schumer. But then she said, all these people were calling me. I never called anyone, but they were calling me. And yeah, we had to make a change because Pelosi said that Biden was not going to win. So Biden had to go. She admitted it. Biden had to go, and that is what happened. That is what Pelosi, Schumer, I imagine Obama, Clinton, that's what they all agreed on. Biden must go, Harris must step in, and it was done. And from what I understand, Biden is still upset about what happened to him. He's still bitter. If he understands what happened to him, maybe the Biden family, maybe Hunter Biden and Dr. Jill, but the reports are that Biden is still a bit upset at Pelosi for what Pelosi did to him. But yeah, she admitted to cooing the president of the United States. She was giving this interview, by the way. This interview was all about Pelosi promoting her new memoir. Get this. She's promoting her new book, her new memoir called The Art of Power. Can't make this stuff up. You cannot make this stuff up. The Art of Power. How you coup the president of the United States and no one cares. The media's not talking about it. The House is not talking about it. The Senate's not discussing it. The FBI, the CIA, no problem. The Art of Power by Nancy Pelosi. That's the title of the book. Everything else is what I'm saying. The book is not called The Art of Power, How You Coup a Sitting President of the United States. That's me. That's me joking around, everybody. But the book has the title The Art of Power. Can't make this stuff up. That should be my clown world, but it's not. And the news continues. And it's a big story, actually. I mean, if the media was paying attention, if the U.S. government wanted to pay attention to this interview, if the Republicans decided to actually pay attention to what happened to Biden, this would be a huge story, but it's not. It's not being talked about in the mainstream media or in the halls of Congress. So I guess that's why Pelosi feels that she's okay to discuss it. Why not? Why not admit to what happened? Being quiet about what happened takes the fun out of it, doesn't it? If you're one of these people with the art of power, if you have the art of power, all the fun is in admitting it. Why keep quiet? Oh boy. So let's shift gears and talk about Project Ukraine and Zelensky's invasion of Russia, invasion of Kursk. And the reports are that the Ukrainian advance towards the Kursk nuclear power plant, or further advance into Russia, has stalled and stopped. And Russia has, the Russian military, they have brought in their reserves, and they've stopped the advance from the Ukraine military. And now the Ukraine military is starting to dig in, and they're trying to hold their positions. And what's going to happen now is that now that the advance has stopped, the Russian military, they've brought in reinforcements. They're now going to demolish these 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 Ukraine soldiers that are trying to dig into the territory that they currently hold in Russia. All of these soldiers, if they do not retreat, they are going to be annihilated. I've heard 2,000 soldiers. Some reports say 1,000, some reports say 3,000. Let's just say 2,000 Ukrainian soldiers involved in this first wave of the Kursk Russia invasion operation. They are going to now be annihilated by the Russian military. The main objective, which now is fairly clear, was to capture the Kursk nuclear power plant, or at least to get within artillery range of the power plant. But that appears to have stalled, and it doesn't look like that's going to happen now. If you don't capture that power plant within a couple of days, then it's going to be impossible to capture it. But that's why the collective West was very quiet about the the direction of the Ukraine military towards the power plant. If this was Russia going after a Ukrainian power plant like in Zaporozhye, when this was Russia capturing the Zaporozhye power plant, the collective West was going crazy, right? They were calling the IAEA. They were saying this is going to be a nuclear disaster. We're going to have a meltdown. We cannot allow Russia to do this. And they were going on and on about Russia's capture of the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant. But they're very quiet about the goals of the Ukraine military. They're saying that the goals are to hold on to territory so that they can exert leverage over Russia in some future negotiations. Possibly, yeah. No doubt this is also a PR stunt, and no doubt this is Zelensky trying to get attention back onto him and back onto Project Ukraine so that he can get more weapons and more money. But the military goal and the fact that it is now coming out that NATO had a hand in this and that they were helping to plan and coordinate this operation, it's now clear that the military objective was to try and capture that power plant or to threaten that power plant. And then it would have been that would have been trouble for Putin and for the Russian government. That would have absolutely been trouble. And you have to imagine that what they wanted to do was to threaten the power plant and then to tell Russia, look, if you don't leave these territories or if you don't give up the Zaporozhye nuclear power plant, then we're going to attack the Kursk power plant or something like that. You got to imagine that was the military objective to all of this. But if you're the collective West, if you're NATO, this is a crazy idea. But what do you care if you're NATO? You tell the media not to talk about it. You tell the media not to report about it. You create the other narrative about holding on to territory, invading Russia, holding on to territory so that you can talk peace in the future. So that's the narrative that you build up. You keep the real goals of this operation quiet. And if the Ukraine military gets annihilated, if you're the collective West, you've lost the conflict anyway. You know that you've lost the war anyway, so you might as well throw this Hail Mary. If it works, fantastic. If it doesn't work and you're the collective West, you've lost 2,000-3,000 Ukrainian soldiers, some of the best soldiers that Ukraine has, but you're losing the war anyway. So you got to imagine that was their thinking in all of this. And of course, Zelensky goes along with it because for Zelensky, this is cinematic, right? This is the stuff of movies. The capture of the Kursk NPP, starring George Clooney, starring Justin Trudeau, starring Sean Penn as the Putin, Angelina Jolie as Annalena Baerbock, and featuring Volodymyr Zelensky in his feature film debut, playing Zelensky. It's cinematic, right? It's cinematic if you're Zelensky. So you go along with it. This is the stuff that he loves. He loves this type of stuff. But it was a crazy idea. If it had worked, it would have been big trouble for Russia. I really think this would have been a big deal if they had succeeded in threatening the power plant. But it looks like they've stalled. That's the reports that we're getting. But Ukraine is asking for ATACMS. They want the Biden White House to give them ATACMS. And you've got to imagine they want the ATACMS so that they could fire on the power plant. That would be my guess. We'll see if Biden gives Ukraine ATACMS so that they can use the ATACMS to hit the nuclear power plant. I imagine even for the Biden White House, they're not going to be able to keep something like that quiet. U.S. ATACMS hitting a nuclear power plant or trying to hit a nuclear power plant. That's not gonna fly. I think the Biden White House is going to say no to that, but we'll see. We will see. They're desperate and they're panicking, but Ukraine they're asking for ATACMS, and we are getting reports that Ukraine is trying to open up another front in this invasion of Russia. There are videos, or a video, of Ukraine soldiers and Georgian soldiers, mercenaries, whatever, a Ukraine flag and a Georgian mercenary flag, and they're in front of a building in the town of Boros, which which I believe is in the Belgorod region, close to the border, but on the Belgorod side of things. And they are now saying that the Ukraine military, the signals are that the Ukraine military is going to open up another front in Belgorod, which would be a bad idea if you're the Ukraine military, because Russia's ready for this. They're ready for whatever Ukraine has to throw at them now in this this invasion of Russia operation, and I think this is more of a PR stunt than anything else. But we'll see. We'll see. There are reports that Ukraine is bringing up more reserves. They're basically throwing everything that they have into this Russia invasion operation. So maybe they do start another operation in Belgorod. Maybe they send more reserves in the Kursk direction, a second wave. But it's not going to fly. It's not going to work. The Russian government, they've already upgraded everything in the region, in Belgorod and Kursk, to a counterterrorism operation. That's bad news if you're the Ukraine military. That's bad news if you're Zelensky, because now it's not a special military operation in this region. It's a terrorism operation. And you got to imagine that what comes in the next month is going to be the annihilation of the Ukraine forces in the area. And then what's going to come is going to be the Russian military creating a very deep, very big buffer zone in Ukraine. Who knows? Maybe they'll create a buffer zone all the way to the outskirts of Kiev. We are talking about the Sumy region. This is bad news if you're the Ukraine military, if you're the collective West. The fact that everything's been upgraded to a CTO, that's not a good sign. To me, it signals that Russia, once they clean up the Ukraine military and they're done with this operation in Kursk and maybe this operation towards Belgorod, once they're done with this, they're going to create a big buffer zone. It's going to turn into a very big debacle for the Zelensky regime. I wonder if the Zelensky regime is going to survive this, or if he's going to go to his new home in Italy. What are the reports? I don't know if these reports can be believed, but there are reports, rumors. I'm not 100% on this. I'm 50-50. Let's say I'm 50-50. That Zelensky purchased Sting's home or something like that in Tuscany or some news like that. I don't know. Just the other day, just 2 days ago, I did a video and I talked about down that way. I did a video and talked about Keir Starmer and the police knocking on the door of UK citizens, and I said not Sting and Andy Summer and Stuart Copeland, not that police, but the UK police. And then we get a report saying that it's a rumor, saying that Zelensky bought Sting's house in Tuscany. It's just a rumor. I don't want to spread false rumors. I don't want to be community noted. So it's just a rumor. I don't think this is real. But anyway, we'll see if Zelensky survives this debacle in a couple of months. He might not. He might not survive this one. He'll have to get out of Dodge. Audi 5000, pack up his suitcases and go somewhere, go anywhere, because the Banderites are going to be plenty mad with him. Germany's foreign ministry, Annalena Baerbock, she said that, her department, her ministry said that Ukraine has the right to self-defense enshrined in international law. And the German foreign ministry added that the principle of self-defense is not limited to its own territory, in reference to the ongoing battles in Russia's Kursk Oblast. So that's Germany's position. Ukraine has the right to self-defense, and it's not limited to Ukraine territory. It also means that they have a right to self-defense inside of Russia, according to Germany. These statements from Germany, these are going to come back to haunt Germany in a big, big way. Mark my words. These are very dumb statements for Annalena 360 to be putting out there, for the German Foreign Ministry to be putting out there. So we have some bad news, some horrific news, and that is according to Al Jazeera and according to the UK media as well. Israel, they hit a school in Gaza, an airstrike on a school in Gaza. 100 people were killed. 100 people. Israeli military, according to the Telegraph, Israeli military says Hamas commanders and operatives were hiding in the school. This is according to the Israeli military. That is what the Telegraph is reporting. More than 100 reportedly killed in Israeli strike on Gaza school. They have to add the qualifier, the word reportedly killed, in the title, the Telegraph. But Al Jazeera is reporting the same thing. And all the news outlets now are coming out with this news. So as the world awaits to see the Middle East, Israel, the United States, everyone is waiting to see what, when, and if this Iran retaliation, what it's going to be, when it's going to happen. Everyone's waiting to see what's going on there. The war in Gaza, Israel continuing to bomb Gaza, continues. And 100 people killed in this school. From what I understand, they were praying in this location, and it was hit by an airstrike. So Cyprus is getting dragged into the possible big war in the Middle East. I'm getting reports. Everyone on this island, they are getting reports from the media here that the Americans, they came to town, and they are talking to Cyprus officials about how the British bases, this is British, actually it's British territory. So Britain has about 2.5% of the island of Cyprus, and this is British territory. It's not Cyprus territory. This is British. They have bases in this area in Cyprus, and the United States and the British, they are telling the Cyprus government that these bases are going to be used as defensive platforms for Israel if and when and should Iran retaliate. So Cyprus is being dragged into this conflict. Cyprus is trying to get out the message. The Cyprus government is trying to get out the message. Hey, look, we don't control this territory. It's not ours. This is not the Cyprus government that is allowing the United States or Britain to create this defensive platform. But what can you do? The island is small, and if a retaliation from Hezbollah, because Nasrallah has already threatened that if Cyprus, if the island of Cyprus is used in this war, that Hezbollah could be targeting Cyprus. What do you do? It's a small island, right? You know, the bases are not, they're not hidden away somewhere on a big territory. So if a retaliation against Cyprus happens, it's bad. It's bad for the island, very bad. But the Cradle has an article about this, and they are saying that Washington has enlisted the island nation of Cyprus in its efforts to protect Israel from potential retaliations by Iran and Hezbollah to the recent Israeli attacks on Tehran and Beirut. Lebanese daily Al Akbar reported on 9 August. A U.S. military delegation visited Cyprus this week and held urgent meetings with Cypriot defense and intelligence officials. The delegation was accompanied by a logistical military and security force, carrying with it a large amount of equipment, weapons, and modern air defense systems, in addition to helicopters, Al Akbar wrote. Cypriot officials said they had never seen such quantities of weapons before, the report went on to say. According to the report, the U.S. informed Cyprus that this equipment was related to tensions in the region and that the island would serve as one of the interception platforms against expected attacks from Iran, Yemen, and Hezbollah. So look, I'm here. I'm reporting from here, and if something goes down, I will let you guys know. It's not going to be hidden. Like I said, this island is tiny, so Everything is known on this island. Nothing is kept secret. So, Serbia, Vucic, he said that Russia tipped him off to a regime change operation. That is what Vucic said the other day. Regime change of the Serbian president. This is all related to lithium, mining. Rio Tinto, this Australian British, it's like a British Australian mining company, and they've got a license to develop a lithium mine in the Jadar region in the western part of Serbia. The project did not sit well with local farmers and villagers who urged that the mine would severely pollute the surrounding area. The mine would free the European Union from reliance on China in terms of lithium at the expense of Serbians' health, farmers Latko Kokanovic, one of the activists, told Reuters. And so there are protests. I believe protests this weekend are about to take place, or are going to take place in Serbia, against the licenses for Rio Tinto and to mine lithium. But there's a lot of lithium, from what I understand, and it looks like the Vucic government, they've approved these licenses to mine the lithium to Rio Tinto. And so you're going to have eco activists and farmers protesting against Vucic. I don't know if I'm getting this story right, but my question to this story is, if the licenses have been given to a Collective West mining company, a huge mining company, Collective West owned, not Russian, Collective West mining company, and this lithium is going to be sold to the European Union, why would they want regime change of Vucic if his government has approved these licenses? That's the part that I don't quite understand. Or are they just generally upset with Vucic and they're using these protests as a way to just remove him because the Collective West is just tired of dealing with Vucic? Maybe that's what's going on here. And so the Russians tipped them off about a regime change taking place this weekend. Or maybe, I don't know, maybe the Collective West, they're happy about the fact that they're going to get the licenses for the lithium, but maybe they're upset that Serbia is going to sell it to the EU. They would prefer that Serbia give it to the EU, or that Serbia doesn't keep any of the money from the licenses or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't go to the Serbian government, to the Serbian people. Maybe the globalists, they would prefer that they keep everything when it comes to the money made from this lithium mine. I don't know. Let me know in the comments down below. People watching from Serbia that are following this story more closely than I am and have a better understanding as to what's going on. Maybe I messed things up. Maybe I'm not reporting this correctly, but let everybody know in the comments down below, all of the community, what's going on here, or even if this regime change is to be believed. So let's do some clown world and we'll wrap this video up. And let's start things off with British Airways canceling their big flight, their big route from London to Beijing. I believe that's the flight that is getting canceled. To the UK to China, they're canceling these flights until 2025. And the reason they are canceling the flights is because they cannot fly over Russian territory because of the sanctions and the cutting off of airspace to Russian flights into the Collective West. So Russia, they blocked off Collective West airlines flying over their territory. Chinese airlines flying to the UK, they can fly over Russian territory, so they can offer tickets which are cheaper, use up less fuel, so less fuel costs, and are faster. And so British Airways cannot compete. So they are shutting down this route to China, to Beijing. I believe they're still going to run the flights to Hong Kong and Shanghai, but I imagine that they're going to shut those down as well. I believe Virgin, they have also shut down their flights to Beijing or to China as well. So yeah, sanctions. How about them sanctions? UK. So that's one clown world. let's do another clown world from Microsoft. They are saying that, and this is according to Euronews, that Iran is accelerating cyber activity that appears meant to influence U.S. election, Microsoft says. And if Microsoft says it, well, then it must be true, right? Would Microsoft ever lie to you? Has Microsoft ever lied to you? No. So if Microsoft is talking about Iran meddling in U.S. elections, well then, Iran must be meddling in U.S. elections. I wonder if Microsoft is going to talk about Pelosi's interview to the New Yorker. Nah, Microsoft is going to make sure that the Bing search engine and Microsoft News, MSN, and their news networks are going to make sure that no one talks about what Pelosi said to the New Yorker. But Iran is meddling in U.S. elections. And one more clown world, we'll wrap this video up. The president of the IOC, of the Olympic Committee, Thomas Bach, he says there is no solid scientific system on how to identify men and women. This is what he said yesterday when he was talking to the media. If someone can provide us with a scientifically reliable way to distinguish men from women, we would be the first to use it. That is what Bach said. We don't like this uncertainty. What is not possible is someone saying this is not a woman just by looking at somebody, or by falling prey to a defamation campaign by a not credible organization with highly political interests, Bach added. Yeah, Bach's right. There is no way. I don't know. I don't think there's a way. I can't tell. He's right. If the scientific community can come up with a way, then I hope they can let us all know. But until then, we're just gonna have to wing it. Anyway, that's the video, everybody. TheDuran.locals.com. We are on Rumble, ODYSEE, BitChute, Telegram, Rockfin, and Twitter X. And go to the Duran shop. Pick up some merch like this new Duran t-shirt that I am wearing, which has the embroidered Duran logo here. And actually, I have the Greek flag embroidered on the sleeve. I don't know if you guys caught that right there. And we have a bunch of flags on the sleeve with this t-shirt. It's awesome. So pick it up. Link in the description box down below. Take care.